Tragedy used to help save the life of someone you love. Tonight, a local family will share their heartbreaking story of the day they learned their teenage daughter took her own life. It's part of a forum led by a Pittsylvania County church to educate the community about suicide. As 10 News reporter Coulter Anstat reports, they hope this will start a larger conversation.
My stepdad comes running around from the backyard, which is where my mom was. And he looked at me and I was like, "Randy, where is she?" I said, "Is she okay?" And the next 3 words out of his mouth to me were, "She's gone, sugar."
That's how Laney's sister Haley found out on April 17th that the 13-year-old was dead.
I literally fell to the ground right then and started crying.
At the beginning of this school year, Laney transferred out of the Danville public school system and started attending Chatham Middle School in Pittsylvania County. Her mother and sister say it was an effort to get her away from being bullied. Unfortunately, they say it didn't stop.
Her skin being too pale, her having braces, which is so common in middle school, so I don't understand how that's even really a thing. They said that she was too skinny.
Laney's mother even changed her medication schedule so she didn't have to take it in school, after learning that too was a source of bullying.
She wouldn't.
Go take your crazy pill crazy.
Laney's sister has created a Facebook page called the Laney Project to encourage people to share their personal struggles.
We've had people from Appomattox open it up to us. I've had somebody in Texas, somebody in New York. I've had somebody from Ohio.
That's what Mount Hermon Baptist Church pastor Steve Cromie says Wednesday night's forum is designed to do. Encourage people to open up in order to begin a conversation about combating suicide.
Danville in Pittsylvania County is one of the highest suicide rates in our state.
A trend Laney's death could help reverse. In Pittsylvania County, Coulter Anstat, 10 News, working for you.